welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Vintage at the request of Patreon subscriber Elijah, and they had me brew a deck around Nivmagus Elemental. This is a card that was pretty exciting that when it was printed. There have been some attempts, famously by Jerry Thompson, I believe, made a real run at trying to make a Nivmagus Elemental combo deck back in the day. It has since fallen off because it is kind of weird and difficult to make work, but that is the challenge I've been given today. So 1 mana 1/2, you can spend a blue or a red to cast this card. Exile an instant or sorcery spell you control, put 2/1 counters on Nivmagus Elemental. It's a pretty big boost. 2/1/1 counters on a 1-drop, having a 1 mana 3/4 after you eat your first spell. That is a huge creature. A 5/6, seriously huge, and after that it's just insano. But the trick is figuring out what spells are you willing to exile, because you put these spells in your deck to cast them, not to feed them to Nivmagus Elemental. And the solution to that, or at least a solution, is spells that make copies of themselves that you might not necessarily need. And the mechanics that do that are Storm and Replicate. Flusterstorm is the most obvious inclusion in this deck. Counter target spell unless its opponent pays 1. Butchered the reading of that card. Counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays 1. And then this says Storm. If you've played any Eternal format, I'm sure you know about Flusterstorm. It is a perfectly strong playable card on its own. And if you fluster something for 4 and your opponent can only pay 2, then you can feed 2 copies to Nivmagus Elemental, and it's bigger, basically for free, while also countering the thing you want to counter. It also gives Flusterstorm extra text, because generally, if your opponent needs to pay 4 for their spell, but they can only pay 2, they just pay 0, and the spell's countered. But if they don't pay for the first Flusterstorm, then you get to eat all the extra copies. So now they're in a spot where they have to spend mana, even though their spell's going to get countered, to stop the Nivmagus Elemental from getting huge. And that's a decision they have to make. This is the best and cleanest interaction that we're going to get. The other 2 cards that I decided to play based on Vintage power level are Shattering Spree. Cast a spell, copy it for each time you paid its Replicate cost, and the Replicate is a single red. Shattering Spree has been played in Vintage before. It's very good against all the artifacts in the format. Destroying 3 or 4 things with 1 card's insane. But what you can also do is replicate this 2 or 3 times to kill 1 artifact, and just eat the extra copies after the first one resolves. And then Consign to Memory, brand new card from Modern Horizons 3. This one's pretty cool. Counter target triggered ability or colorless spell, and it has Replicate for a colorless. This was made to counter Eldrazi effects, but if we do something like counter a Mox and then replicate this twice, we can eat the 2 other copies. Urza's Saga chapters are triggered abilities we can counter. Thassa's Oracle is a triggered ability we can counter. This is not quite a stifle because you can't target activated abilities, so we can't just be stifling fetch lands like crazy here, but there are a lot of triggers that matter in Vintage. And let's hope this finds some cool spots, because this is the most exciting new card to put in a Nivmagus shell. And then filling out the deck, we basically need to be a Vintage power level deck. We can't just try to go fast with Nivmagus Elemental, because Vintage decks are just faster than this, even if we do a nut draw. So I've got 4 Collector Roof in here. Try to bring people down to our level where we can beat them with fair creatures. Slickshot Show Off is, I think, the next most useful card for applying damage in a shell like this. And then, of course, we just have all the busted Vintage stuff. Ancestral Time Walk, our On-Color Moxen and Lotus, and a bunch of counterspells. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to flip my Vintage opponents into the garbage and then just beat them up with whatever's left over, while having some cool synergy with Nivmagus Elemental along the way. Let's try it out. This is Rug Nivmagus Elemental. I'm on the draw with Force Blue card and Nivmagus Elemental. I'll keep. Opponent has a Mana Crypt. I'm not going to fight over that. Could have Consigned to Memory it, though, if I had mana up. Workshop. 6 mana. That's the magic number for Coveted Jewel. which they do have, I'm going to force pitching Nivmagus Elemental. If they force back, we're just dead. Great. Okay. On the draw versus the coveted jewel, not draw. That's fine. They pitched a transmute artifact to that Force of Will. That might slow them down. But they have a metamorph, so they're going to just keep going here. Okay, yeah. Play draw. Good shit. This is the type of matchup, though, where having 4 collector oofs in the main and a bunch of shattering sprees and stuff is useful. And the One Ring. Okay, so I want to draw Mox Emerald right now. This is actually kind of interesting because Consigned to Memory does counter most of the spells in their deck, but I'm going to try to Ancestral myself here. If I hit the Lotus, I can jam Oof. All right, did not hit anything. I hit a haste creature, though, which means if they pass the turn again, which is pretty unlikely because now they have all their mana available and the One Ring to tap. But if they pass the turn again, I can show off and draw 6 and then cast Oof with all my Jewel mana. Expecting to get another turn out of 8 cards from Jewel Shops is insane, though. Vault, Monolith, Jewel. Well, that'll do. Okay, I'm good. We don't need to keep going. Okay. Honestly, if I was on the play, I probably would have cast Nivmagus Elemental and we would have been in the same spot, so leaving up Consigned to Memory would not have happened. You have a lot of potential sideboard for this matchup, though. These are cards that have text. That doesn't mean they're all coming in. Lightning Bolt comes out. Mental Misstep doesn't matter. Gitaxian Probe doesn't matter. I could cut my basic island. They're not attacking my mana. And the haste on Show Off stealing Jewel is actually pretty exciting. And unfortunately, this is a matchup where Flusterstorm is terrible, but it's a matchup where Consigned to Memory is great. So I think I can make some reasonable switches there. Maybe I don't need this many Shattering Sprees. Them having artifacts in play isn't really my problem here. I get to keep a Flusterstorm now. Yeah, I think I'll do this. And now I know the matchup, I can be careful and mulligan appropriately. Alright, I'll keep this. Consigned to Memory is a sicko. Okay, pass. And the trigger on Jewel might be a better thing to counter than the Jewel itself if they shove a Jewel, because I do have a haste creature. Shop, Pearl, Monolith. This is 5 mana right now. I have to counter One Ring, though. There's nothing interesting to do around the trigger on that. Just keep that object out of play. Argentum Masticore. Well, I don't really want this in play, so I will try to counter it. Successfully fended that off. Kind of a weird start, though, to be all in on that. Sick. I found a threat that I can play with my off-color land here. That does give me a lot of juice. Saga, I could counter that trigger, but that's not my fight. Okay, I'm gonna consign the One Ring as well. And with Nivmagus in play, if they counter back, I can eat my spell that's about to be countered. Which still isn't great, but it is literally something. I kind of want this Slick Shot in play, applying pressure, but my spells are all good. Okay, I'm going to let Force of Will do the work and apply extra pressure here. With what they're showing me, they can't activate Urza Saga. Here come the jerks. I am running out of gas here. I gotta hope they run out of gas first. Paradox Engine. I mean, that card's really good, but it's not the card that literally kills me. I'm going to take my chances. Yo! Chances taken and rewarded. Destroy Mox Pearl and Paradox Engine. And I get triggers off some of the stuff. The copies don't trigger Show Off. Copy, destroy Paradox Engine. And if they fight over this, I can force back. And unfortunately for Nivmagus Elemental, I just want my spells, which is, like I said in the deck tech, what spells are you putting in your deck without the intent to cast them? They haven't added mana to the board in a while. They could tutor something like Soul Ring, or they could get Vexing Bauble and try to turn off my free interaction and then shove something big this turn. Black Lotus. It's pretty good. Force of Will this Jewel. They're forcing back, which means I do get to eat my spell, but it means they get a Jewel, and they pitched a Metamorph for that. Okay, we are once again at the mercy of them drawing 3 cards. And I am F6'd from here. Please miss, please miss, please miss. There's blue in the pool. Oh, geez, they drew Tolarian Academy. Okay. For a Monolith. This looks like a Metamorph. They're paying life to cast a spell. And me with this Pyroblast in my hand. Couldn't fight over this Force. Couldn't fight over that Metamorph. Just don't have enough mana. Because I'm trying to play lower to the ground than this. And it's just... decks like this... I play against decks like this all the time when I'm testing Vintage. And one of my rules for the format is go busted. Like, at least have a gear in your deck that goes busted. Because I just got, what, 4 or 5 great exchanges in a row, and now I'm going to lose easily. Because I am playing Legacy and they're playing Vintage. But that's okay. We did get to eat a spell off Nivmagus Elemental. We got to Consign to Memory and Shattering Spree for value. Okay, they just PO'd all their stuff up with no mana floating. This is 4. And they have multiple monoliths. Yeah, we're dead. They don't have to keep doing this. All right. Finding a way to have more mana or more cards would be nice, because, like, Pyroblast would have bought me another turn there. But again, I don't know. Maybe Slickshot Show Off should be something else, or should I be playing the off-color Moxen so I can have extra stuff and just be a more powerful deck? But I'm also a Collector Roof deck. I don't know. We'll see. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round 2 with a hand that awkwardly goes double Mox into Collector Roof, but this is the deck that I registered, so I'm doing it. This is the hand I would have liked versus Jewel Shop's last round. There's no Lurrus revealed, which means there is a good chance that they are Jewel Shops. There's not a lot of reasons not to play Lurrus right now. Thermal Collector Roof, not bad though. Though it might be bad. If they're just bug, my hand is trash. Underground Sea. Thoughtseize, alright. Go ahead, have a peek. Is this Doomsday? Is it my NYSE build of Oath with Thoughtseizes in the main? We're dumping out some other Moxen. Well, I only have one thing to do this turn. Attack and play Collector Roof. Hopefully I could collect enough oofs that I win. Please Thoughtseize me again. Uh-oh, it's bug. Oh no, it's Oath. That's so much worse. Okay, yep, we're dead. And this is why I like Oath. It's because you just completely clown anyone doing anything remotely like this. All these Collector Roof decks. Just terrible. Let's try to get some information about their list. Time Walk in the Graveyard, Show and Tell Gadaxia Probe, there's Atraxa. This stuff all pretty easy and obvious. Alright, cool. Can't beat an Atraxa in the main. I could Pyroblast it afterboard, and I have some cages I could bring in. Cage, Claim, Pyroblast. I think all come in. Lightning Bolt comes out. Collector Oof comes out. I still have to win with creatures, which sucks. Maybe Oof is necessary. Shattering Spree, not good. Force and Negation can counter Oaths or Show and Tells. Don't need my island here. Okay, this is what I'm doing. The Oofs are out. Gotta win with our prowessy, hasty homies. Okay, this hand does not have a threat. It does have interaction. I'm gonna keep it. See what my opponent's up to over there. They're on a Show and Tell draw. Flusterstorm's great. Flusterstorm's bad against the card Oath of Druids, though. Tell me your secrets. We've got Orchard, Mystical Tutor, Mana Crypt, Sensei's Top. I'm gonna invest in a Nivmagus Elemental here. These Flusterstorms in hand are only better with this card around. There's no Oath in the hand, no protection for Oath if they top deck it. Crypt is fine. They can start spinning top. Mystical Tutor is fine. If they have to use this Orchard for normal mana, that's good for me. That's just more pressure I have. Ooh. Wasteland's interesting. Do I think I'm going to need to Fluster twice? I don't think so. Waste you. And they didn't spin top with the floating 1 mana from the Mana Crypt, so that just went away. It's weird that they just didn't do that. Even if the plan is to Mystical Tutor, you can just do it. You have the mana. What if the card you want Mystical for is there? I will Fluster Mystical Tutor. Or, do I need to do that? Because Mystical Tutor has to get an instant or sorcery. Those are the rules. Yeah, I'll do it. I still have Force in my hand. The same target, and the Nivmagus does get to grow here. I have to let them not pay for the first one. And then chomp this up. We're doing it. We're going off. Attack for 3. We did it. We unlocked our Delver of Secrets. Level. Power. The next spell is even bigger. Mana Crypt, please kill my opponent. They won their Crypt Flip. Spinning top in the upkeep. I decided to counter the Mystical Tutor because if they drew a blue source last turn and they just tutor for Ancestral, then I actually can't fluster it through Mana Crypt. The Seiju is not the blue source that they were probably looking for. Attack for 4. I was certainly not looking for land number 4 either. Spinning top in the end step. Come on, Mana Crypt, help me out. Won the flip again. There is mana for Oko, should they choose to deploy it. I'll draw for turn. Mox Sapphire. Also not very good. I'm going to play out the Mox, though. This builds Storm, and if they try to do something in combat, my Nivmagus might be huge. Okay, they go to 9. Cool thing about Nivmagus is elking it barely does anything, because it still holds the counters. Elking this Nivmagus right now, well, elking a Nivmagus ever just makes it bigger. They finally lost a flip. Okay. Real threats happening now. Black Lotus is a spell. They've got Oko in hand plus 2 unknowns. 7 mana accessible here. They cannot cast Atraxa with this 7 mana though. They're missing a color. Thoughtseizing me. I'm going to Flusterstorm the Thoughtseize and see how many of these they want to pay for. They floated the mana, which seems like they're intending to pay for it. I'll just eat these and have a giant creature. Yeah, with the Lotus and the Crypt, they just have so much mana, this doesn't matter. Called my bluff. Thoughtseize happens. You're at 3. Now the Crypt is tapped. If they like Demonic Tutor for a Time Walk, Vamp Tutor, you're at 1. Okay. They have to Elk or Tinker their Mana Crypt this turn, or else they risk dying to it. Bolas the Citadel is not going to go very far at 1. We're drawing a card. Their card in hand is Oko plus whatever they just tutored for. Tinker. Oh, do we have a Sphinx? That's probably what's happening. Pro Red's pretty good. Pretty sure I'm Ice Cold to Sphinx if they boarded it in. Portal to Phyrexia, that one's good too. That one's worse than Sphinx, but it is also good. I am going to fetch to just move some cardboard around. Come on, busted card. I needed that last turn. I could have consigned the portal trigger. I could consign this trigger. I don't think I care about that though. Like they can just have that thing and now they can't cast Oath because they have a creature and I don't. And I do have a bunch of haste creatures in my deck. There's one right now. Slick Shot, Show, Off, Attack 4/1. Did we do it? Oh my god, they're one mystery draw between... Because Oko's the one card in their hand. That was their one draw step, untutored, totally random. Alright, I'm gonna counter this. What an insane rip. I understand I also just ripped Slick Shot, but that was preposterous. Okay, now they get to stick in Oko and start generating some food. I do have 3 more Slick Shots in my deck. Opponent is fully hellbent. I have a bunch of cantrips that I play. I am going to fetch because running out of time here. Just get lands out of the way. Come on, deck. Ancestral Recall. Preordain. I'll start there. Mox Ruby and Nivmagus. I don't think I want to waste time trying to answer Oko. I'm trying to win, and that's not going to do it. Alright. A top deck Abrupt Decay is the difference between winning and losing here. It's all good. Portal to Phyrexia was a good thing to board in. Sphinx would have been good too. Finding the Tinker at 1 life. Good stuff. And now they can be at 4 at will, and then to 7 over a turn cycle. I do still have cantrips and Ancestral Recall in my deck, though. We could turn this around. Not if we're ripping lands, though. I've had enough. Okay. Good run. On to the next round. Welcome to TopDeck.gg, your community's home for everything competitive Magic has to offer. If you're hosting an event, playing for a huge prize, or advertising your events to thousands of players, we've got you covered. Using intuitive pairing software, playing Magic is a breeze. Players just have to sign up online, then scan the QR code in-store. Give competitors the gift of perfect information as their bracket updates in real time. The self-reporting software saves you time and leaves paper match slips in the past. Leave the heavy lifting to TopDeck.gg so your community can relax and focus on playing Magic. I'm on the draw in round 3. My opponent has already Serum Powder to hand. We're playing against Dredge. I'm gonna mulligan this thing with no ability to do anything. Alright, this one I'll keep. My game 1 against Dredge is not good. I guess I could mulligan for one of my 4 Wasteland effects. Yeah, that's probably better than trying to win with Collector Roof. Okay, we got there. Keep this bottom Volcanic Island, and I think it's also Volcanic Island because I have the red on Mox Ruby. Okay. Yep. Please don't have 2 Bazaars in your hand. Bazaar activation. Discarded Icarid and 2 Imps, and I'm getting Griefed, which doesn't get the Strip Mine. Exiled a Cabal Therapy for that. I wonder if they take Mox Ruby, if I effed around and found out on that mulligan decision. Yep, bottomed all my red sources. I was trying to vintage. It's okay, I play a lot of those. Hit the Bazaar. Hope we don't lose immediately. If one of their last 2 cards in hand is Bazaar, we are for sure dead. If they have to slow dredge, it's still going to be hard, but we could at least try to play that game. Icarid's here. Dredged a bunch of stuff. There's a prized amalgam there. And a Cabal Therapy, and they do know 2 of the cards in my hand if they want to clear the Lightning Bolt or the Slick Shot. Looks like they do. Cabal Therapy and Nivmagus Slick Shot show off. Do we think that's the first time that's ever happened in any format? Preordain. Black Lotus. That is unfortunately too slow. I mean, it could get me Collector Roof into play, but that doesn't even matter. Alright, bottom top. I'll take the land. If this Icarid's going to trigger Prized Amalgam, I can bolt Prized Amalgam and temporarily deal with it. Narcomoeba triggers Amalgam again. There's a second Icarid. What do I need to do at this point? If I can make Nivmagus Elemental just a 3/4, it is the biggest thing around. Ooh. Alright, Slick Shot. Do I want to plot this or cast it? I'm just going to cast it. It can block Narcomoeba. This race does not favor me, but blocking doesn't favor me either, so I'm going to start poking for damage where I can. There's 2 Icarids in there, but only Dredgers to exile with it. This is 10 damage. Yeah, they're holding back on the second Icarid because they are slow dredging. Another Amalgam, and it's just Golgari Thug for dredging left in there. Shattering Spree, LOL. Terrible. Okay, I think I'm going to hold the Lightning Bolt, and it might be time to interact in combat defensively. So down to 1 Dredger at this point, and if they just run out of those, then they're not actually doing anything. Okay, Icarid ate the other Icarid, so they're down to 1 of those only, and they're on their last random Dredge 4, which hit a Creeping Chill and an Archimedes. Okay, well, that'll do. We were behind the whole time. Like, I didn't think we were actually winning that game, but we were playing it. Okay, so the Shattering Sprees come out. Some number of oofs come out. Pyroblast can do stuff like kill Prized Amalgam. I don't think I want that, though. Consigned to Memory is actually really good here because most of the stuff that happens out of their graveyard is triggers. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Keep. I have a threat and multiple sideboard cards. Tormod Script, get in there. Show them who's in charge. I think I will Force of Will of Grief if they play one this turn. Because if I can loot Bazaar and then bomb the graveyard they already have, it's a pretty good spot to be in. Hollow one. Alright, I have to force that. I'm not bigger than that. They always have 2, though. Oh, what's this? No second hollow one. Opponent punted. They're supposed to have 2. Okay. Would have preferred to draw that turn 1, but not going to complain. If I flute on their turn, they can dig more for an answer, but it does turn off some of the answers they might have. I'm just going to flute now. Like, they could just Force of Vigor eventually anyway. Aiming Bazaar Baghdad with that. If they have Force of Vigor right now, they're actually in great shape because they didn't even discard a Dredger last turn. Yep, fuck me. Okay. Clear out the things that I can clear out, and then we are in trouble. Oh, 2 Bazaars. We're so dead. They found the 1 Grave Troll they get to play. And they're slowing down a little bit here. Yo, easy game. Slick Shot, get in there. Tormod Script triggers Slick Shot. That's why I'm sequencing it this way. Wow, they're Force of Willing this. We got them from the top rope, Tormod Script. Sick. Now I have to find the correct spot to use this thing. It might be right now, or it might be in the end step after this dredge. I think it's after this Bazaar. There's an Icarid. No Prized Amalgams. Yeah, I'm actually going to hold. There's an Icarid with nothing to eat. They dredged Troll. They dredged Imp. They hit a Narcomoeba. If I bomb now, they can Bazaar again in response. I'm just going to go now. There's enough going on in there. Yep, and they're restarting from nothing, but they don't need much. They have 2 friggin' Bazaars. Okay, they missed on Dredgers. And, yo, we're doing it. Nivmagus Elemental with Flusterstorm at the ready. Plays Noxious Revival in the upkeep. I don't know why they would do that. It would be perfect for me if they did. I suspect this Flusterstorm won't actually hit or counter anything ever. Missed on a Dredger. They found a Dredger. It's a Dredge 4, but it's enough to get the party going. Grafdigger's Cage. Black Lotus. That's not helpful. I guess I'll cast it, though. You have to eat an instant or sorcery. You can't just eat Black Lotus. And I can't Flusterstorm Black Lotus because it's not an instant or sorcery. Flustering your own spells is also a way to get a burst of damage. Right, they found an Archamoeba. There are 8 cards remaining in their deck, though. Can they deal 20 before those cards are gone? They've used 3 of their Creeping Chills already. They're still dredging. 4 cards left. Getting Cabal Therapied would be insane. Okay. Can I draw a cantrip? No, absolutely not. Alright. Pass the turn. I'm not winning this game by attacking. I have to deck them. Icarid pops out. Yeah, if I could just get Nivmagus to be 3-4. 3, 6, 7. I'll go to 10 here. And just hope I draw a spell. Just a spell, deck. Give me Preordain. Give me Ancestral Recall. Not a spell. Also not a useful card, even. Because they're not going to be tapping Bazaar again this game. They can't dredge anymore. Or they have Shambling Shell, which dredges 3. So they literally can dredge, but then they die. So they can't dredge. I managed to dodge all 4 Creeping Chills this game. So if I go to 3, I'm dead to everything. I'm already dead to everything. Yeah, I'm going to 3. On deck. Lightning Bolt. Preordain. Any of the cards that we play. Oh my goodness. A card worth casting. I'm going to Brainstorm. Consign to Memory counters Icarid. And then I can block. Okay, I'm going to put back the Force of Wills. And I'm going to have a gigantic Heckin' Nivmagus Elemental. Could I have 1 there? No, not close. All right. Nope, not quite. Okay, Icarid triggers. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cast with Replicate. Copy it 5 times. Or 4 times. Trying to navigate this interface. Okay, so I replicate this a bunch of times. Same target. Counter this a gajillion times. I'm going to let the first one work. Then I'll eat the rest of them. Which means Amalgam can't attack this turn. But it doesn't really have to. I could also Flusterstorm this to make it 2 points bigger. Yeah, being at... I would need to be at 5 to be stable here. Okay, we did the thing. It's not going to matter, but we did the thing. And I'm drawing Force of Will because I wasn't able to shuffle my Brainstorm. Yeah, that Brainstorm showed up a little bit late. If I had another Consign, I could counter Icarid again. I have nothing of the sort, though. GG. 0 cards in deck. The perfect crime. Okay, competitive. We did the thing. It just wasn't very good. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. On the draw against Aluris with Collector Oof, Force Blue card, and some Slick Shots, I'll keep Polluted Delta, Mana Crypt. By the way, before the comments say it, though it is round 4, so I'm sure they've already said it, I know I meet the requirements to be a Lurrus deck, but the colors that my deck are all the colors that Lurrus is not. There might be a 4-color version of this. There's also a Magic Online user who's building like crazy 4-color Lurrus decks with Manamorphose at the core of the mana base. That's just not what I'm doing here. Orcish Bowmaster. All right. I don't mind that so much because I don't draw any of the cantrips I play. Okay, Crypt Flip. Please help me out. They won the flip. No help there. Urza Saga. I have a Wasteland for that. I am unfortunately behind on board. I also had an early draft of this deck that played Simian Spirit Guide as just kind of more Moxen, so we're on board more often, but then there was no room for actual spells. In a format as powerful as Vintage, it's really hard to balance playing cards that require additional setup. Like, if I can Vault Key and just win, what's the incentive to Nivmagus Fluster and have a medium-sized creature in play? I'm going to take out Saga. I'm just going to try to play a control game here, which seems insane with my hand that has Slick Shot Show Off in it. Okay, Mana Crypt did damage. Mox Emerald, alright. Playing out more things that get sucked up by Oof. Island does not get sucked up by Oof. Bowmasters are in. There was a long pause in combat, like they were thinking of playing a second Bowmaster to push extra damage. This is Lorien revealed, I'm going to Fluster it. Yeah. Tropical Island Fluster Storm. And then I'm going to shove Oof and hope I find an answer to this Luris, or they don't find a black source before I can Wasteland them. Oh, well, they have Orcish Bowmaster in play. I'll pump the brakes. I think I'm going to hide my red source and just play Oof off of Wasteland. If they force this, they're down to just an uncastable Luris in hand. So yeah, that resolves. Now Mana Crypt is killing them without helping them. They're at 13. I'm winning the race. And the Ancestral is just as good as a Force blue card. Maybe better than it is as an Ancestral Recall at this point. Mox Opal, frozen. And no attacks. This is the recipe where we might actually win a game. And Lightning Bolt, we're doing stuff. Okay, I'm going to play Slick Shot. I have to do it before combat because that is how this works. I could have plotted it and tried to have a bigger next turn. I don't think I'm interested in that, though. Deal damage. Okay, we're in for 1. I'm going to Wasteland them at end of combat so they don't have that mana in my main phase or in the end step. Okay, yeah, it just went away and pass the turn. This looks like a game we can win, team. I don't want to get too excited. They're directly on Mana Crypt Exploitation, 2 wins, 2 losses. It's stealing its 1.5 per turn. And this Lightning Bolt that I've been porting out every round, finally coming up. Oh my goodness. If I probe them, it does trigger Orc Army, but I believe it's worth doing. I can take 3 damage to deal an extra 4 and know what's going on over there. My creatures are all X2s, we can handle it. Okay. Force, Dress Down, Time Walk, Luris is what's going on over there. Oh no, I drew a land off probe and missed it. Oh my god. I was busy looking at their hand. I just forgot I get a card off probe. I could have bolted in combat, forced their force, and won the game right now. Horrific. Horrific. Yeah, busy narrating. Streamer brain. Okay, it's fine. Okay, they're 3. So I could bolt with force backup at any point, though I did just miss lethal. Cycling Lorien revealed. That's fine. They're dead. We have all the information we need to win the game. Bolt you. You're dead even if you force it. So I won't force back. Slick Shot Show Off in Vintage, baby. I think Mana Crypt did as much damage to them as I did this game, but we take it. Okay, Force Pitching Time Walk. Resolves. Attack for 6. We're on the board. We did it. Okay, Luris Saga. This is a deck that I had in mind more than others when I built my deck. That's why there's 3 Lightning Bolts in the main and all this other stuff going on. That has been terrible in every other matchup I've played. Really, Nature's Claim and Pyroblast are the cards I would consider. And I don't even need Pyroblast in huge numbers. I could cut Force of Will and go Scrappy. I could go down to 1 Shattering Spree, which gets me all 4 Pyroblasts. A lot of their threats are black, though. It's all their setup and card advantage that's blue. Yeah, I think I want the claims as instant speed answers to Urza Saga. I'm leaving 1 Shattering Spree in. I like the Lightning Bolts for once. Doing this. Okay. Hands full of good cards. Mox Jet. Their deck plays a lot more Power 9 cards than mine does. A notable thing in this format. Ancestral, right on time. Yep. Can't fluster it now. I don't think I want to just fire a Strip Mine on a random land here. I saved those for Urza Sagas. Cycling Lorien. That is an activated ability, not a triggered one. Couldn't counter that if I wanted to. Not going to counter that either, though it is a colorless spell. Wishclaw Talisman. Not a card I expected to see. And not a card I can counter with any of the things I have. Collector Oof, can't cast that one. Would be great, though. Real shame. I think I want to leave up my interaction for another turn. And then I can plot Slick Shot next turn. And then try to find a turn where this Time Walk is actually good. Which is not currently the case. End step Brainstorm. Demir Luris Saga with Wishclaw Talisman. That is more copies of Time Vault without breaking Luris's rules. It does tutor for Time Twister if they're heavy on the Bowmaster plan. Curious. Giving your opponent a talisman in Vintage is so bad, though. Like, I don't really expect this to be a deck that can't win in one shot. Okay, they're making a wish, and it looks like they're going to Paradoxical Outcome and pick it all up. Oh, Deadly Dispute. That seems like a lot of work to get a tutor, but it's allowed. Okay, they did all that, and they're passing the turn. Love a green source. Nope, that's a green card. It's like a green source, but the opposite. And I think I might have to just emergency time walk here. Just try to find another card and do something. Okay, going to my bonus turn. I'd certainly prefer to time walk with creatures in play, but we're not in a spot to do that. Another green thing, but I can cast Slick Shot here and hold up my counter spells. Green is my splash color, but I am playing 11 sources for it, I think. I have 2 duels, 7 fetches, the Emerald and the Lotus. Orcish Bowmaster, alright. Can't interact with that. I could counter the Make an Orc Army trigger, but it's not a good time to do that. They have so much mana. Flusterstorm seems really bad right now. Sensei's top, I'm not going to fight over. Seems like the race is on. Come on, green source. Another Flusterstorm. If I ever cast a spell, things will be good. The good news is they're unlikely to combo kill me. The other good news is that Collector Roof's extremely likely to resolve if I draw the green source because I have so much backup for it. Bad news is I'm not doing anything. Alright, still not fighting over Wish Claws. Still can't. Literally can't. These oofs laughing at me in my hand. We're doing the Wish Claw trick again. Deadly Dispute, Wish Claw. Cool. We're going to have 8 cards in hand after all this. Strip Mine is a little annoying. Black Lotus. Is it time for whatever the big move is? Whatever we've been playing towards. Mana Crypt. Grabbing Luris. Okay, that's in your hand now. I cannot counter a Luris. None of my conditional counter spells get it. Collector Roof is devastating on this board, though. This would be a great time to draw that green source. Come on, deck. And that is an answer to Luris. I guess I'll just attack for 1 and continue bleeding out. They're spinning top in my end step. The Wish Claws can be replayed by Luris, but otherwise she's just sort of chilling. Mana Crypt, my best friend. This is my win con. It's now done as much damage as Slickshot has. Another Bowmaster. Okay. Resolves. Not going to fight over the trigger. They've been sculpting so much, they could Time Twister with a bunch of layers of protection here. Just spinning top, though. Still chilling. Flipping the top. It's time. Whatever this is, it's happening. Deadly Disputing the Mana Crypt. My win con is gone. Saga. I'm going to strip the Saga before it even learns how to tap for mana. That's what I've been holding Strip Mine for. And we did it. Taking 3. Luris has arrived. I'm going to fight over Luris on my turn, so my Lightning Bolt and Flusterstorm trigger Slick Shot. Wish Claw from the graveyard. You got it. Top's back. Okay, going to my turn. I'm going to draw a green source. Well, how do I want to do this? I guess I'll lead on Nivmagus. I am going to end up tapped out of interaction this turn. I have to imagine they want to fight over Luris. Maybe they don't. I don't know their life. Okay, no fight over Luris, which means I get to hold up Consign to Memory. And or Flusterstorm. Attack for 3. Yep, using their Strip Mine. That's smart. Yeah, it doesn't matter leaving up the basic, which I could have done, but that's not how that card works. I take 2. I got nothing going on. You get a Wish Claw Talisman to play. Just cast Time Twister. Let's stop the madness. Dismembering my Slick Shot. You're gone. I'd still take that green source deck. Alright, Preordain. Double Bowmaster is tough. I can counter one of the triggers, though. Alright. Preordain. Sapphire and Misstep. Both are not helpful to me. Bottom. Through another Slick Shot. You're going face. Not challenging my Nivmagus. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we've bricked off for too long here. That was a mess. Okay, Collector Roof is good. We now know that for sure. We've seen a bunch of Wish Claw Talisman kind of stuff. I actually saw very little for Pyroblast. Is there something I'd rather have? Get one of my forces back. Get Shattering Spree back. They left a lot of artifacts in play for a long time there. I will play with exactly 1 Force of Will. Let's go. My goodness. I'll keep. I have a busted card. I'm going to Ancestral in their upkeep. I would rather get Nivmagus down, but knowing they're a Wasteland deck and a Bowmaster deck, getting the Ancestral off when I can makes a lot of sense. Gitaxian Probe. I could misstep this, but I think I can hold that for something more interesting, like their Ancestral Recall. Black Lotus. Consign to memory. Embarrassed. Sensei's Top. Could have misstepped that, but it doesn't look very good here. I don't know. That feels like bait. I'm not falling for it. And then no land drop. What are they doing over there? Oh, I get to find out. That's cool. I'm going to play my Nivmagus first. And then, now we both know everything. Fair and reasonable magic card, Gitaxian Probe. Force, Dispute, Snuff. That's what they got going on over. Okay. So now I know the top would have been a great place to put my misstep. They don't have a swamp for Snuff out, though, and I have Wasteland. I could create a situation where my Flusterstorm is really good on my turn if they come up with a swamp. Flipping the top, okay. Mox Sapphire. Could have consigned that, but I'm waiting patiently. Maybe too patiently. Volcanic Island. Yeah, I'm going to get my pal in here. Push that damage. They just drew top that I think I will misstep this time around. Because I could follow it up with a Fluster if they found Ancestral Recall, which I now know they didn't have in the first place. Black in the pool. Just deadly disputing Mox Emerald, trying to make something happen here. Flustering this seems really bold, but also kind of dope. Yeah, I'll bite. Flusterstorm, see how hard they baited me. And this is the spot I talked about in the deck tech where they are incentivized to pay for as many Flusterstorms as they can, or else my creature gets bigger, and they're in a low mana situation. They just didn't pay for the first one, so now I get to eat all these. If they just go like Swamp Snuff out here, I guess that's fine. Then I can waste the Swamp and keep beating down with Slickshot. Nivmagus, 7 power. Oh, they just passed with the black. Yeah, they did not recognize this interaction because they just didn't use their black, and they could have. And it would have been really good. Okay. Brainstorm. I'll start here. Trying to win this turn. Opponent just went below 5 minutes on their clock, and I still have 16 and a half. Okay, Wasteland out, backup land out, fetch, Volk, Ruby. I'm going to use my green to preordain, because if I can also protect this, that's even better. We got the GGs, though. All right, we're on the board. We won a match. On to the final round.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I'm on the draw in the final round. I don't want to count on Gitaxian Probe and my draw step to find me a mana source, so I will mulligan this. Keep bottom the Taiga, and let's party. No threats in this hand, but lots of blue cards. I've been doing the other opposite version for the entire league. Oh good, it's shops again. Let's see what flavor. If this is like a prison shops kind of thing, I am playing 4x Shattering Spree. If it's jewel shops, I don't know. I'm dead. Smokestack. What happens if I just don't play a permanent? Like, they're on the play with this stack. They just don't have to tick it up, I guess. That's annoying and shitty. Alright, I'm going to force pitch and Gitaxian Probe. I don't think I care what's in their hand, and Time Walk might be good someday. Basic Island. I'm going to Scalding Tarn and pass. Yeah, if Smokestack ticked up involuntarily, like if it was just like every turn, put a soot counter on this, I would have let that resolve, but that's just not what that card. And this does appear to be a Prison Chops deck. Soul Ring and the One Ring. Ring theme deck over there. That's what I wanted to counter on turn 1 when they put 4 mana in their pool. This is not great, but I guess functional. The One Ring is such a busted Magic card. Not that you needed my help to know that, but centering the whole game around resolving one thing that then recoups all of your resources. I guess that's kind of a unreasonable thing to mention coming from an Oath player. I think what's going to happen on my turn is I'm going to fetch for Tropical Island, cast Time Walk, take a random draw, hope it's Collector Roof, and if it's not, I will play Nivmagus and Wasteland them, or Strip Mine them. Oh, Tropical Island's in my hand. I have to fetch for Taiga, which might be better anyway, because that gives me double red for the Shattering Spree if I draw it. We're in my walk turn, and drawing Force of Will at random. I think Force Blue card is more useful than having Nivmagus Elemental, though, versus the One Ring and Sensei's Top. I have no faith I'm going to win. If I can survive this turn and rip a Collector Oof, I could see the game actually being winnable. I'm going to let that resolve. I'm just so far behind at this point that countering the second engine, like going Hellbent to counter the second engine when they already have one that I'm more worried about in play, I just have to draw one of my sprees or oofs or we've lost this game anyway. Monolith. That was from hand, not the top of the deck. Another top. That one came from the deck. Activated the ring, up to 3 in hand. Another shop. Relic of Sauron. This is almost certainly going to be a Paradox Engine deck. All the pieces we've seen, the relic and everything. I imagine this deck can go actual combo mode. Blaring Freshraker. Okay, there's the combo mode. I'm going to counter that. That's a win condition. And now I'm going to F6 and hope I draw exactly a Collector Oof or a cantrip that finds it. They pass the turn. Moment of Truth. Big oofs. All right, nope, we're dead. I don't even need to see more. Okay. Shattering Sprees, Nature's Claims, Force of Negations all come in. Mental Misstep, Gataxian Probe, Lightning Bolt all come out. Flute can name one ring, that's relevant. Consign is insane, that's just 1 mana, counter target spell in your deck. The Flusterstorms are completely blank, which might mean I get Probe or Bolt back. Grafdigger's Cage does turn off Mystic Forge, but they only get one of those. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep these things. Bolt could do something good, like if they're rings or mana crypts, get them low enough. Bolt could be a surprise burst of damage. And Gataxian Probe is blue for my forces and a cantrip. I think this is as good as it's going to get. Okay, turn 1 threat with multiple Shattering Sprees behind it. I will keep no blue card for this force, but that's fine. We live, we die, we live again. I'm actually going to use Wasteland for mana rather than fetching a red source, which does slow down my Shattering Sprees, but also keeps me protected from Wasteland. And the fetch that gets all my colors is Tropical Island, which doesn't cast Shattering Spree anyway. So I would like some more information before I commit to cracking that fetch land. Shop. Vexing Bauble. Okay. Couldn't cast my force anyway, scoreboard. Soul Ring. And Voltaic Key. Okay, my plan here is to destroy Soul Ring and Voltaic Key, and then Wasteland them. They're not done yet. They still have 3 mana to spend. Alright, backup Bauble. They might just cantrip this off right now, or untap their Soul Ring. Wow, they just left that mana burning. They could have had Soul Ring up. Alright, I'm not going to argue with them. It's their cards to play. Volcanic Island. Shattering Spree with Replicate, target Soul Ring, and Voltaic Key. Pop, pop. Wastelandia. Attack for 3. Hope that was good. It felt really good. Imagine that, the game I draw one of my mocks in, an on-color mocks, turns out to feel like a vintage game. Versus Saga. And pass. Gonna get to Preordain. Maybe we'll get something going. Nature's Claim. Alright, Preordain. Find me the goods. Those are the goods. Brainstorm on top, Taiga on top, Nature's Claim, this Urza Saga immediately. Having them gain 4 life in this spot, not great, but taking them off another resource is great. And they're functionally gaining 2 because the Slick Shot gets the buff. Yeah, they're burning off their baubles. They realize that's not where this game's gonna end up. Attack for 5. I have Brainstorm on top of my deck. I can Shattering Spree for 3 at any point in the future. Another Saga. Alright, we set it back. Expedition Map. I don't mind destroying that at all. Brainstorm. Time Walk. That'll do. I'm going to put back Force of Will and Shattering Spree. And then I'm going to fetch a Volcanic Island and cast Time Walk. Do I want Trop? Yeah, I have enough red at this point. Time Walk before combat to get the buff. Attack for 5. Okay, can we keep it going from here? Nope. Attack for 1. Consign to Memory can counter all spells in their deck, and I can counter a Saga Tutor or Saga Tick Up. Their Soul Ring's already dead. Ancient Tomb could turn on the Saga. They can't use Moxen. They can't use Mana Crypt. That one works. Okay. Good sandbag. I've already cast my Brainstorm, so I should just fetch here. Come on, Cantrip. Nivmagus Elemental. Not really who I was looking for, but it does work with this Consigned to Memory extremely well. Slick Shot, get in. Okay, so I can counter one colorless spell or counter the Saga Tutor this turn cycle and give Magus +6/+6. I think if they make the construct, I counter the tutor, but if they don't make the construct, I just chill and see what spell they're going to cast. Okay, they did make the construct. Now I'm going to counter this 4 times. Here we go. They don't get to tutor, and I have a 6/6. I could also let them tutor and have an 8 power creature. I'm saying 6/6. It's actually, or 5/6. All right, let's actually counter this with one of them, and then eat the rest. Nom 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 nom. I have a 7/8 and a flying creature to your 8 life. Mishra's Workshop, solid follow-up. If they just cast a One Ring here, I'm going to be pretty bummed. I'm not going to lie. Sensei's Top, I don't care about. And this is a different art, which means they're playing at least 3 Sensei's Tops. Phyrexian Metamorph. This might just copy my flying creature to block. Yep, yes indeed. Okay, Shattering Spree off the top, or just some cantrip to make my Slick Shot beat theirs. Come on, something useful. Strip Mining the Academy is not bad, but it's not what I wanted either. I'm not going to attack here because if I attack, they just trade 1 construct for my Nivmagus. Whereas if I hold back on defense, they need to play 2 more artifacts before these constructs do anything. I'm also winning the race, way ahead in life total. So if they, even if they do make 2 constructs, or 2 artifacts, they have to leave a construct back to make sure they don't die. They're flipping their top. No spin, because they can't. They have no normal mana here, only artifact mana. Can't activate map, can't activate bauble, can't spin top with the things that they have. Grim Monolith triggers the Slick Shot, that's really funny. They are kind of a storm deck when they get going. They play Glaring Fleshraker, so clearly they are a deck that could do some work with Slick Shot. The Bauble's tap, they might be giving up on this. If they have a Mox in their hand, that makes a lot of sense. They know they can redraw the top here. They have to tap Grim Monolith to do any of it. But redrawing, they can cast top with their artifact mana floating. Mox Sapphire, okay. They did, in fact, have themselves locked out of at least 1 card with the Bauble. The constructs can be 7/7s with what we know about right now. And then there's 1 unknown card in the hand. Fleshraker, oh, that's really good. Okay, then they cast top, they deal 1 to me, and they get a pal. I'm unlikely to connect with this Nivmagus ever, but these aren't artifacts, so the constructs won't be big enough to connect this turn. They are sending their flyer in. I will not block. All right, come on, cantrip. Shattering Spree. Well, we can hold the fort another turn, I guess. They are drawing wild. They have 1 Mox Sapphire and 1 Eldrazi Spawn with which to cast spells. I am close to dead here. At 9, if they just attack with everything right now, I could block construct. I actually have to chump if they attack with everything. I don't have a good block that doesn't kill me. They are dead on the backswing, though, so they can't go all in. They flip the top, 2 cards in hand. I think I have to force basically literally any card here. Okay, yeah, especially that one. This is actually infinite damage, so I have to counter it. Because the top on top of the deck and the top here, they each make a spawn when you cast them and deal 1 damage to me, which means you could just flip the top, cast the other one, sack the spawn, flip the top, deal the other one. That's a cool interaction. Mana Vault. Okay, am I dead now? Did they find it? I go to 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm exactly dead. Wow. Cool stuff. Yep, 1 more life or 1 less artifact or 1 less ping, and I would be able to survive, but they have me completely deceased here if they just turn all their creatures sideways. This is a cool deck. I still hate Mishra's Workshop and wish it didn't exist, but this deck is very cool. And they do know how to do combat math, which is not fair to me. GG. Okay, this deck was super medium. That is kind of what happens when you try to do something cute in the highest power format there is. But really, the squeeze on this deck is, I mean, obviously Nivmagus Elemental is kind of stinky and needs the help, but it is cool that Consigned to Memory, Flusterstorm, and Shattering Spree are all cards with relevant text in the format that do exactly what you want with Nivmagus. The issue is that in matchups where one of these is good, the other two are probably worse. You might get 2 out of 3, but you're rarely going to get 3 out of 3 of these cards being good. Like, against Shops, Flusterstorm sucks, but Consign and Spree are great. Against Doomsday, Fluster and Consign are great, but Spree is a blank. Against kind of fair decks, they're all kind of mediocre, but they'll all find targets, but none of them are game-breaking. You could also build this deck much more combo-centric. Like, I tried to find a middle-of-the-road place that applies pressure to the Vintage Pillars to try to cheese wins. But you could build with, like, Manamorphose and Phyrexian Rot Priest and Ground Rift, and if you do, like, a Gruul or Rug, Nivmagus plus Phyrexian Rot Priest, or Venerated Rot Priest, that's what that card's called, proper Storm deck where you could infect them out, and you eat all the Ground Rifts with Nivmagus for damage as well. That could be a cool place to go, but all those cards are legal in Modern, so why are we in Vintage if we're trying to do that? I'm going to leave this one here. It was a fun exercise, unsuccessful execution, but we had some good games. Elijah, thank you for the challenge. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.